Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Welcome once more to Frankenstein Control, America's beacon of light in the darkness that is everyday reality now.
Yeah!
It's a wavering beacon, and it may or may not blink FART in Morse code, but we shall never abandon our post. In line with that, if you could use a small glimmer of hope this week and you're worried about all the awful stuff going on with the abortion bans and the attempts to roll back women's rights, don't be. Because we're about to start World War III with Iran for absolutely no reason.
Oh boy.
Seriously, no reason at all. All because our national security advisor is a man whom, as I've previously reported, has a bicep tattoo of text from the 15 Million Plastic Bags poem. Tom Clancy spent decades imagining realistic geopolitical intricacies that could spark a major conflict, only for us to end up with Splinter Cell, Salami Conundrum.
Delicious.
If you haven't guessed by now, this means that it's time, again, to check up on the news. Continuing our multi-part series on people B-Rye thought were already dead, iconic actress and singer Doris Day died on Monday, and Tom Conway, who voiced Barnacle Boy and allegedly had other career highlights at some point, died today.
Oh! Now both Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are no more.
Yeah. Who is Mermaid Man?
Ernest Borgnine.
Oh, okay.
You know, of the famed museum,
yeah.
which shall go unnamed.
It better go unnamed.
Also on Monday, though, as tensions between the U.S. and China continued to worsen due to the ongoing trade war between those two countries, U.S. President Donald Trump again took to social media to vent his ire at one of his chief opponents. A video uploaded to Twitter yesterday afternoon showed President Trump receiving a delivery of Chinese carryout and immediately dumping it in the trash. After doing so, he turned towards the camera saying, "How do you like that shit, Xi Jinping? I can do this all day, man. We're fine over here. America's on board with me all the way. Nobody cares that a single Hot Wheels car costs $40 now. Keep it coming." Requests by media outlets for comment following the video reached only a voicemail greeting that was apparently unintentionally recorded, seemingly consisting of a distant but audibly intoxicated Sarah Sanders threatening an unidentified person and demanding to know why the Hamburglar bothered to wear a tie. That's all I got. Over to you two.
Yes, our world is dying, but the good news is there's no good news because we're back at Frankenstein Control! And if that's good news to you, see a doctor! I'm your host, Dr. Taylor. To my left is Nurse Ship.
I'm actually not a nurse. I'm a professional thief, which is why I wear a tie.
Over top your prison uniform.
Yes. I did get arrested.
Never bothered to take it off.
Never bothered. It was comfortable. I'm locked into it. I can't take it off.
As someone who wears scrubs every day, I can confirm that they are in fact very comfortable. As a matter of fact, last night I ordered another pair of these very pants just to wear around the house.
Yeah.
And in front of me, as always, Scrubs enthusiast, B-Rye.
I'm B-Rye, and I'm getting increasingly concerned about my various devices spying on my activities and spending history, because I saw a Facebook ad for a targeted t-shirt today that said, "That's right, motherfuckers! I just put 100 rounds through my gun, and then later I got falafel instead of meat at Cabo because I'm getting older and worried about developing heart disease in my 40s. It had like the bullshit badass like barbed wire.
Yeah,
the
needs
words,
to have the barbed
all
wire.
That shitty, trashy, goofy shit.
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
You know, for how big a craze it was, I'm seeing a shockingly little amount of those shirts around town, shall we say. You figured that those things would be selling like hotcakes if you can customize a t-shirt to that degree.
Yeah. Instead, they just end up in thrift stores and baffle everybody that finds them.
And ironically bought by you.
Oh, I thought they were just left there by the ancient prankster god Baphomet.
Baphomet was a minor Macedonian deity. whose specialty was shit posting.
Yeah.
Like shit hieroglyphics posting.
Well, see, most of his
It's like written in Sanskrit.
most of his writings are gone now because green text was really hard to do on hieroglyphics on Sanskrit carvings.
Yeah, one of the only remaining carvings of his is it's like a little block that has a picture of like a crude drawing of a frog, and then what seems to say soup time.
Oh, God. A cousin of mine, who shall go nameless, but he knows who he is, has been sending me a bevy of fucking videos from various movies and media where somebody is interrupted in the middle of saying super.
Uh-huh.
So they just say soup. So, like, at 3 in the goddamn morning, I'm getting messages from my homeboy where Mary Poppins is just going, eat soup!
That's stupid.
Like, the whole theme song to Scrubs plays in its entirety, and then, I'm no soup!
That's marvelous. That makes me feel better about all the bad things in the world.
You know what else will make you feel better about the bad things in the world, and then make you feel bad about the bad things in the world in quick succession?
The fact that John Oliver did a bit about the Sonic movie and said that Sonic looked like a furry potato with a corpse's face.
Did he really do that?
Yes, he really
Yeah! But no, it's just the two things I want to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
The first one will make you feel good, or better make you feel good, or you should probably stop watching. Or listening. Or living, actually. A character in popular children's media has gotten married this week.
Yeah.
A character near and dear to our hearts. If you're familiar with the children's show Arthur, his teacher, Mr. Ratburn, of many a year, the one who loves cake.
And boy heads.
And, well, boy heads of a different kind now. Because those boys are men. And that man is what he's married to. Yes, our dear Mr. Ratburn got married to a chocolatier. I shit you not.
That's wonderful. I'm legitimately the mirth in my voice is a genuine joy.
I know. I'm happy for him too. The boy just loves his cake, and now he's got one whole component to it, and plenty of frosting.
Ew.
You guys, I can't have a heartwarming moment on this show. I'm contractually obligated to ruin all emotional moments.
Yeah. There going to be like shots of him like putting nails on the cake?
Mm-hmm.
Because he always ate nails for breakfast.
Oh, was that like a thing that the kid said he did?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's going to the fucking salty spittoon later. I'll tell you that much.
Without milk.
But no, he got married, and like the episode revolved around the kids hearing that he's going to get married, but he didn't say to who. And then a little bit later, they overhear him and some lady. She's like sort of like teasing him and calling him soft. And they're like, oh, that lady's being mean to Mr. Hepburn. That must be who he's gonna get married to. We gotta break him up.
That's a Hey Arnold plotline.
Yeah, and so they spend the whole episode in shenanigans trying to break these two up. When in fact it turns out it's Mr. Ratburn's sister.
Oh yeah, naturally she always like gives him shit.
And then at the wedding, the Mr. Ratburn and his husband walk down the aisle, and everyone's like, oh, huh. We were wrong. And that was the focus of the episode.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, and like, I love it too, because they didn't go like, whoa, isn't this special and crazy?
Yeah.
Mr. Ratburn's marrying a penis. They didn't do any of that shit. It was just a marriage. And it happened normal, and that's great.
And that's how you do it.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, they... like treating it like it's some like whoa thing will just make will just make people treat it just like that. Be like, whoa, you're marrying a man?
I always love shit that normalizes things correctly, and I always want to. I wish I could find the isolated clip or gif of just the "deal with it, America, deal with it" thing from Harvey Birdman, because that's what I always wanted to say every time I watched an episode of Steven Universe.
Kudos to Arthur for showing a wedding between two gay individuals that A, is not played for comedic effect, B, is not played as something different, and C, both people are just human inhabitants of their world, and nothing is special about their species other than the fact that they're anthro people.
Yeah.
You know, they aren't a species entirely composed of women, and so like, well, I guess they have no choice to be gay.
Yeah.
Whoa! Take that,
Yeah.
censors.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Arthur's fucking like, check this shit.
Yeah.
Hold my fucking beer, Rebecca!
They like.
I'd like to think that like that episode aired, and I just imagine Rebecca Sugar sitting in her living room with like a bowl of Wheaties, and she's sipping on some orange juice, and out walks Mr. Ratburn, and she's like,
I was picturing more along.
They outgayed me!
yeah, she just gets on the phone, she gets all her crewniverse on the phone, she's like, we gotta up the gay!
I just pictured like a TV playing to a room, and you see like the back of a chair, like the director's chair that says sugar on it, and like you just see like the top of her hair, but no other features. It's like a hand clutching like, and the hand starts to shake and clench on the glass until it shatters, and like bits of it cut her hand, and she's just.
And thus began the gay wars of children's television. Nah, I'm all for it. Bring on the fucking gay wars, man. We got enough bullshit in our political spectrum. We need this kind of shit.
There's a lot of not to do again with Stormlight Archive what I did with Blood Meridian, which is mentioned every fucking episode, every chance I got.
That's okay. I haven't mentioned Kingdom Hearts in oh boy.
But there's excellent representation in Sanderson's books as well, and in the Stormlight Archive there's a character who's the gay. He's an openly gay character, but he isn't the gay character. He's just Drahe, and the fact that he's gay is like irrelevant, and it's normalized and very well done.
I mean, like as it should be. I am a character. Oh, cool. Who are you dating? That's a weird fucking question. Please go away from me. Like, I don't know. Like, I think people being like, "Whoa, he's the gay character," is just the same as being like, "Whoa, it's the hetero character."
Yeah.
Oh, that boy's gonna kiss that girl. Whoa, fucking breaking new ground, motherfucker.
I want to take a brief aside here to mention, just because I'm stoked.
Mr. Ratburn took a brief aside on their honeymoon.
It's things like that, Taylor, that's why I hope there's a hell. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention, because I'm super stoked about it, but I started today reading the Mistborn Era 2 books.
Oh god, there's an Era 2?
Yeah, it takes place like 300 years after the original trilogy. And Sanderson wanted to do that thing where he wanted to be a refutation of the thing where fantasy worlds don't change. Like how, like the Battle of the Last Alliance in, Lord of the Rings happened like a bajillion years ago, but society's at exactly the same level. And it's still like vaguely medieval.
Oh, you mean like the Elder Scrolls universe?
Exactly.
Where
like
literally we're still firing arrows at each other and there's been like a bazillion years of time?
Yeah.
No one figured out a gun yet.
Yeah. Well, basically he was like, no, it's 300 years later. They'd have better shit now.
Yeah.
So
nobody has guns, but they do have vacuum cleaners.
No, they have guns.
Oh.
So what he's done...
Gunlight archives.
No, this is Mistborn.
Gunborn archives.
You're being deliberately obtuse.
They did.
What he did was he updated the series from being like, medievally with the weapons to now it is a full-on steampunk western.
Yeah!
It is Red Dead mixed with Steam Boy, the anime, and it is rad as shit.
That does sound pretty rad, with magical powers.
With magical powers, and...
Wait a minute, if people are firing bullets at each other, do some people just, like, go into battle with their mouth open, and then the bullet goes in, and they go, oh, magic!
No, they don't do that.
Oh, because they eat metal to make magic happen.
There's various cool shenanery involving... he thought very long and hard about how to incorporate firearms and bullets into this world where people can manipulate metals, and it's very, very well done. But I did just want to say that there was a scene very early on in the book where the protagonist is flying around the city with his Mistborn powers and changing trajectory by firing his shotgun, and it was really fucking cool.
Wait, where is he firing it into? Oh, okay, so that was the good stuff. The Mr. Ratburn was the good stuff. Now for the bad stuff. I'm going to go over it briefly because I don't think either of you... Actually, I think maybe you might care once a certain detail comes to light. But... a YouTuber.
I was going to talk about this, too, because I met them both.
No!
And I have signed things from them.
Okay, so there's a YouTuber out there named Pro Jared. You may have heard about him in the discourse.
He's in the same circle, or formerly of the same circle that included the Grumps occasionally and other people of note.
So yeah, I knew nothing about him outside of his YouTube channel, which I enjoyed his videos. I thought they were great. He says the word yuck, and it's funny.
I never liked him.
I enjoyed him, but recent things have come to light that highlight him in a much dimmer and darker light.
This seriously, because like Lissa's really into her YouTube stuff, and she really likes the Grumps, and she really is a fan of Holly.
Yeah.
So this, like, she was kind of fucked a little bit all weekend.
Now there's like a fucking Normal Boots Grump sex ring that we gotta fucking deal with now. Because Commander Holly and Pro Gerard.
No, don't call, because it's extremely cruel to Gerard, because he's a cool dude.
Oh, wait,
There's
Gerard the completionist, shit.
I was just going to, I thought you were ironically doing that, because that's one of his biggest complaints, is that people conflate the two all the time.
Uh-oh.
And he was even getting, like, undeserved shit, because of what the other guy did.
Okay, guys, the completionist, Gerard the completionist, completely different than Pro Jared.
Very kind dude, and participated in the firing of the bad one.
Meanwhile, in Jaredville, it seems people named Jared just can't keep their hands off of minors, because that's what Jared was doing.
How many fogels of porn did he have on his computer?
I don't know. He had at least one fogel of porn.
And it was the same offense. Underage girls.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't know entirely about the Subway guy's case. I just knew he had child pran.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he was grooming anybody, but that's what Pro Jared was doing.
Yeah.
He was grooming fans of a minor age to show that age and other private parts. And the icing on the cake is that he also sent nudes to some of them. And he took nudes with his face in the photo. You don't do that! You gotta maintain some plausible deniability if you're gonna send your cock to somebody!
Yeah.
Jesus! This guy fucked up every rule in the book. Bro, Jared, you fucked Holly out of her beautiful marriage with Ross!
Yeah, I would still say he did her a favor there. like, despite the pain that she's going through, overall, I think she's better off.
Hashtag got him. No, but
Lissa was watching a bunch of videos on this, pretty much ongoing throughout the weekend.
Oh, wow.
And she was really upset. She still is kind of upset. And one of them, oh fuck, you made the point and I fucking forgot it.
Holly?
No, it was about something you said earlier. Anyway, the video said that, if you're having self-confidence issues, just remember, Jared broke up marriages. And he looks like Momo.
Like from Avatar, the last Airbender?
No, the freaky bird lady, the hideous.
Oh! Wow! Dang! Woo, boy! Yeah, that's pretty wild that all this shit's been going down with this dude. What a home wrecker!
Well, it was super surreal for me because, as referenced in our PAX episode, like about 4 or 5 episodes ago, Alyssa and I met him and Holly at PAX.
Ouch!
For their D&D things.
You shook hands with a diddler.
You guys don't know, you can't see, but Ada got like really close and serious at B-Rye. It was really funny.
Thou hast touched the hand that diddled.
Do you know what was on his hands?
Oh.
That's on your hands now.
I actually didn't shake his hand. Neither of us did.
Good.
You weren't really encouraged to touch them.
Good. Good advice. Don't touch the YouTube.
Wow, wait, did they like put their arm around people? Did they like give them high fives or anything?
Did they give out any hover hands?
Like, did they do that?
They probably did a little of that.
So what you're saying is that you can't touch them, but they can touch you. That's just what Pro Jared wanted!
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how I felt about him, because I've never really been into his videos at all. And when he was did bits with the Grumps and some of the live action stuff, I wasn't sure if it was a bit or not, but there was always some aspect of him that I was suspicious of or didn't care for.
Yeah.
I just felt like he was just kind of a dick. But I felt really bad about feeling those things when I met him because he was super nice to us. And but then again, I was also with my pretty little pastel wife.
Yes.
And,
Oh no!
But you know, her like hulking bearded husband was next to her. So I honestly don't think there was any kind of intention of him. Like I felt shitty for not liking him because he was nice to me. And now I don't know how to feel because it's a roller coaster.
How you should feel is
well, I don't like him now for sure.
How
but
you should feel is dirty and betrayed.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Like
At least that's how I do.
Forlong.
Oh yeah, the Forlong debacle.
Oh, what happened with that?
This was a year ago.
Oh, I remember you told me about that.
Yeah. There was a musician I was really into called Forlong, and about a year ago, she made this whole post of like, okay, all these rumors are coming out, I'm going to go ahead and dispel them. And she goes on about how she was molested by her sister when she was young and feels like she never got a childhood, so she does age regression to kind of compensate for that. And she was adamant that the age regression thing was completely non-sexual and not like a weird fetish or anything.
It was just an attempt to reclaim what had been stolen from her.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's not really a big deal. And then all this other information came out, and like people are coming forward saying that like, oh, I'm underage, and she was like weirdly friendly with me, and like here's all these Twitter posts of actual baby furs, which are pedophiles, supporting her, and then she's like, thanks for the support.
Instead of, get away from me, I don't want to be associated with you.
And some chat logs of her doing the whole age regression in a sexual way.
Yeah.
And that hit me real hard, because I was a huge fan of hers, and I had just bought all of her music and a t-shirt. I put the t-shirt came in the mail, I put it on, and then read the post where she came out about that.
Oh no.
And for all we know, I don't think that she actually is a pedophile, but she's definitely okay with way more ambiguous pedophilia than you can possibly be okay with, and I just can't support or be associated with that.
Yeah.
And it sucks because her music's amazing, but I can't listen to it in good faith.
Well, in sort of, I guess, kind of good, more cautious, optimistic news, around the same time, I think somebody in another sort of anonymous chat type of social media forum, Tumblr post, whatever, levied accusations against Maynard James Keenan of Tool.
Wait, I think I heard about that.
Yeah, and that's completely gone away. I don't know if that's good, if that means that there was no substance to it and like nothing ever came of it and nobody ever substantiated it, and the person who did it sort of like, you know, went away when they realized they couldn't make it go any farther, or if like enough people worship him as a god among men that they just swept it under the rug. And I want to believe the best of him because I'm an immense Tool fan.
You're an immense Tool?
I am an immense Tool
fan.
And part of me is always like, am I making excuses for someone I like?
Yeah.
But I've started listening to Tool again, and I feel like that's probably going to continue unless further proof comes out. So,
the Michael Jackson debacle.
Yeah. There's like pretty damning evidence with those. You watch that documentary and you don't care anymore. You want to tell Michael Jackson to go to hell. Well, he is in hell. But
Yes.
You want to tell him to stay there.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's such a fucking shame too, because the music's great. That's the problem. The music was really fantastic and it enriched so many lives. And then guess what? A dirty pedo man made it. Whoops. Well, guess we gotta just throw away an entire section of our lives because we were misguided? Question mark?
We need to surgically remove this entire section of culture.
Yeah. It's a huge bummer. I don't like it. I don't like all these people. Why everybody gotta be fucking weird all the time?
Yeah.
Why people gotta be fucking weird and do bad shit? Just like, calm yourself.
Stop diddling, please.
Like,
therapist.
how do you not fuck up Royal and then realize how bad you fucked up and then commit the rest of your life to never doing something like that again, and instead just double the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
You get mad with power.
As an example, a poignant example of how far we've come, I was reading recently, I was rereading about the Bud Dwyer case. Do you know about that?
He name's familiar.
I never heard of Bud Dwyer.
Bud Dwyer was the Pennsylvania politician who committed suicide during a live press conference.
Oh, you might have talked about that on an episode, actually.
Do you know about this at all, Ada?
I think I've seen the gif of him
with the revolver in his mouth. Yeah, everyone. Most people.
Like, I don't know why he did that.
If you spent any time on 4chan back in the day, you saw those gruesome images and gifs.
Yeah.
Oh,
they were ubiquitous. And of course, somethingawful.com routinely uses those pictures in their Photoshop Fridays all the time with that shit. But like this shit happened. Like here, I was thinking that this was like a lot longer ago than it actually was. Like this shit was like 3 years before we were born.
Oh, okay.
Like 1987 or so.
Yeah, 86.
Yeah. So
did you forget your own birth?
I don't know. I'm getting old, Ada. I'm worried about developing a heart disease.
You're the youngest one.
By months.
Yeah. You know what I fucking did on my 30th birthday?
What?
Threw my back out. I was lifting too many things at work, and then I felt a pop and a pain and had to drop everything. It was like, well, that's not good.
Welcome to your 30s, bitch. Bud Dwyer. So, yeah, the scandal that he killed himself over. Mm-hmm. Not just went to jail, fucking shot himself in the face. So, he was the treasurer of Pennsylvania, and, like, the year he was elected, the state of Pennsylvania, like, fucked up a little bit and made an honest mistake, and they just, like, withheld more in income tax for state employees than they should have. Just for state employees, not even for everybody. So they're like, oh, shit. They admitted their mistake, and then they're like, oh, we gotta hire an accounting firm to tally up the reward that's gonna, or, you know, the refund that's gonna go to everybody who was affected by this.
Yeah.
And because that was a, you know, a government contract, they took a bunch of bids on, like, which accounting firm they were gonna hire to do that. And the accounting firm that got picked later turned out that they, like, gave Bud Dwyer a little kickback to pick them. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's what he killed himself over.
Oh, for being caught bribing.
Yes.
Wow, if every politician nowadays who got a little dirty money killed themselves, America would be saved.
Yes. Yes, it absolutely would.
Hey, special, this is a special message from Frankenstein Control to you.
So it'll get you banned on Twitter, so I might have to cut out some of this.
Boy, shit got violent real quick.
We didn't say any names.
I'm gonna edit this in the most confusing way possible, so if you have no idea what's going on right now, I did my job.
Oh no. We did we talked about bad things.
Real talk, I have to share with you both a very real dream I had Saturday night as all this shit with the Pro Jared was unfolding.
Oh no!
No, I went to bed that night, and I seriously, like, I'm not making this up. I dreamed that Taylor had gotten us office space for Frankenstein Control. We're going to record from now on. And he was like, super stoked, be right. He sent me a text. He's like, we got a special guest tonight. I actually got somebody from YouTube, who's like sort of, famous with the circles that we're running in, that we're interested in running in, like the Game Grumps and all that, Super Mega and all that shit. I was like trying to guess who it was, and I was like, is it Matt and Ryan? Is it somebody really funny and cool? And I came into the office and you were like recording a session with Pro Jared. I immediately ran down the hall and kicked open the door to Ada's office, and I was like, Ada, you got to edit all that shit out.
I think my first question on that very special fictional episode of Frankenstein Control is, so Jared, what's it like diddling?
I don't want to hear that.
No one does. I just want to see it from his eyes.
You want to see him struggle.
Yes, I want to see him squirm. What the fuck is happening?
I
mean, like, you can only be optimistic for so long because being optimistic is still viewing the world horribly because you're like, oh, well, it's just always been like that. It's just more transparent now. And you're like, oh my god!
You have to
now we actually catch the people.
Yes, that's true.
Instead of waiting for them to send disturbing letters to their parents about how they ate their children via Albert Fish.
Yes, the worst. Albert Fish was worse than Hitler.
Yeah. Possibly. Within a individual act, certainly.
Yes.
Hitler, of course, had a much grander scale.
Hitler had a grander scale, but he committed his atrocities via proxy through his armies. Albert Fish tortured children to death, ate the children, and then sent detailed letters to the children's family saying what he did to their children.
Dear God.
Also, he, like, stuck needles up his taint and shit.
Consequently, that's what Holly was asked to do for Jared.
Oh, no.
Don't.
No part of see that in my head.
No part of me enjoyed
Why'd you make me imagine that? Fuck you.
I'm gonna quote John Oliver here. He's like, just don't think about it.
Don't picture it.
It's too late, British Kippa. I've already thought about it.
I've been saying for years that John Oliver looks like Kippa.
Does this count as a raunchy episode, even by our standards?
Yeah.
It's more like our reaction to trauma. To answer your question earlier, Taylor, what are you supposed to do in this hell world we live in? We cope with it by making up things like Bitter Veteran Goofy.
Oh, God.
Trying to laugh back at the darkness when it laughs at you.
The darkness always wins, Sora. Because the sun always sets. Oh boy.
There's this image that's been going around of a ride. I guess it's on a. I don't know if this is edited or what, or if it's like some weird bootleg thing. But it's like the inside of a theme park ride, and it says this ride only stops in emergencies. Crying is not an emergency. And then a picture, like a stock picture of Goofy doing his whole yuck.
Crying is not an emergency.
And that's just how I felt for months.
Oh, God.
Crying is not an emergency.
Sora, somewhere along the line, I've developed the ability to hear the suffering of souls in hell. I expected to hear the men and women screaming in anguish, but I didn't expect the children's voices amongst the chorus of the damned.
Oh, no! Oh, God. Jesus. Oh, yeah, I saw Endgame. It fucking sucked!
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.